is going on here? All right. Hey, looks like I got audio finally. Jeez. Hey guys on TikTok, give me a second. Trying to get Streamlabs up and running here for YouTube. All right. Test, test. Okay, looks like we're running. Jeez, that took forever. All right. All right, those of you on Renorah's platform, can you guys hear me? All right. And YouTube? Gotcha. And TikTok? TikTok should be fine. You guys are on my phone. All right. Hey, everybody. Wow, that was a pain in the tuchus. So, thanks for joining our second week. Last week, we ran into problems with audio. This week was audio, video, and just about everything else. So, unfortunately, my daughter borrowed my tripod for my phone. So, TikTok, you're down here today, and everyone else is up here and there. So, forgive if I'm not looking directly at you all. Hey, guys. So, we're going to go ahead and get into it. This week, we're talking about how to rewrite your craving. That is the title of today's session. Unlike last week, which was around 40 minutes, about an hour and 20 minutes with Q&A, we will probably be closer to 20 minutes on this one. It's a little bit shorter. So let me just jump right into it. Hey, everyone, and welcome back. Whether you're joining us live here on the Renorah platform, TikTok, YouTube, or you're catching a replay. Wait. Someone is trying to call me. Why are you calling me during a live session? That was supposed to be on mute. Sorry, guys. Let me turn my focus on. There we go. Alrighty. Let's try that again. Alright, here we go. Wow. The funds of trying to get into live streaming here. Alright. So again, hey everyone, welcome back. Whether you're joining us here live on the Renorah platform, TikTok, YouTube, or catching a replay, I'm glad you're here. This is week 2 of the Renorah Ignite weekly coaching series. If you missed week 1, you can find the full session, including the Q&A, exclusively on the Renorah platform at renorah.com. The shorter edited version without the Q&A is also available on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and other platforms where I post them. And just to clarify, if you're watching this live, you may be seeing it on the Renorah platform, YouTube, or TikTok, but once we enter the Q&A portion, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok will basically be turned off, or anywhere else that it is will be turned off. But if you're interested in seeing that, please jump on the Renorah platform, again, renorah.com. If you're watching this on replay, you'll be able to see a link in the description, which gives the first 20 people 50% off your first month. Now, with that all said, last week we talked about your why, the core emotional driver that gives purpose to your journey. This week, we're going to go ahead and take it a step deeper and talk about something that derails nearly everybody at some point, and that is cravings. So let's go ahead and get into it. Let's be clear, cravings are not weaknesses. They are learned patterns. They're neural loops. Cravings are in your brain. They're brain responses to stress, fatigue, boredom, and emotion, mixed with past reinforcement. Every time you reached for a chocolate when stressed or fast food when tired, your brain took notes. It said, that helped us feel better. Let's do it again. The more you repeat the pattern, the stronger the craving becomes. And now it feels like an urge you can't control. But here's the truth. Cravings are built, which means they can be unbuilt. They can basically be rewired. And Actually, I'll tell you guys a story about something that happened this week. I went to meet a friend of mine, and she invited me to breakfast with a friend of hers who was a larger woman. Looking at her, I mean, it was pretty much like looking at myself back in the day. And as we're talking, the conversation turned over to about weight loss and about Renorah. And she admitted she wants to lose weight. She's having problems with her knees. She's having problems with her back. She yeah, gets out of breath. And she told me that she wants to lose weight. But as I pushed into her and tried to understand her why and whatnot, she admitted she doesn't want to give up food. She doesn't want to give up the pleasures that she's used to. So, really, she's not ready to change. But she told me that she understands that cravings and food are essentially substitutes for emotional stress or for triggers that have happened in their past. And she figured, well, that's just the way it is. But the fact that she's big is actually because it's part of her DNA, she said, which is not true. A lot of it is, again, she's been essentially built in a way through her life, through her choices, to constantly be eating poorly, and making bad choices. But all of those things could be rewired. They can all be unbuilt. So let's talk about how cravings work. There's 5 key things. Number 1 is trigger. And now I'm not talking about triggers like the whole political, social movements and all that crap. I'm talking about triggers differently. Something lights a fuse, a fight. Uh, if you and your partner have a fight, a long, stressful day, that 9 p.m. board meeting, whatever it happens to be, those are triggers that cause your cravings to start. Emotion is number 2. You feel anxiety, anger, sadness, overwhelmed. Those are also things that can start the cravings. Memories. Your brain remembers what worked last time: carbs, sugars, salts, fats, whatever it happens to be. Memories of times past. Yeah, everything that we see on TV, in social media, anything from the food company is all about building memories. You watch a Coca-Cola commercial, especially during the holiday seasons, they're trying to push the idea of memories of times of the past. When you were a child, reliving the days out and drinking Coca-Cola. It's all about trying to trigger those memories because those memories will make you crave the item. Action, you eat and you get temporary relief. Some of us get pleasure from the food. I used to. Anytime I was upset, anytime I was depressed, I would eat because that would give me relief, at least temporarily. And then, of course, I would get depressed when I noticed what I had done. And reinforcement. Your brain says, that worked, let's do it again next time. So your brain remembers, subconsciously you do, remembers what actually made you feel better, what helped you overcome a certain trigger, an emotional issue, a bad memory, an action. So your brain actually brings those back up every time those things occur, and that's why you start to crave certain foods at certain times. That's a loop, and until you interrupt it, you're just fighting food. You're fighting your own wiring. The good news is your brain is plastic. It can change. We just need to give it essentially new signals. We need to train it, retrain it. So you don't fight a craving with willpower alone. And that's what a lot of people think. They think, oh, if I just work hard enough and desire it hard enough, I'm going to be able to get over that craving. And you won't. You have to replace it. And here's a 3-step method to start rewiring your process. So it's not, I won't say it's very easy, but the process is simple. The implementation is a little harder. Number 1, you got to create a pattern interrupt. The moment you feel an urge, pause. Set a 5-minute rule. Give yourself 5 minutes before you act on the craving. So I actually talk about this in Renorah. I believe we go into it in module, it was either module 1 or module 3. I forgot which one. But we talk about the pause. Now in the module, I specifically talk about a 90-second pause, mostly to get you going, but hopefully you can get up to that 5 minutes. That's what you shoot for. And that pause essentially helps you to tell your brain, no, I'm not going to do XYZ. I'm not going to eat that candy bar. I'm not going to go and grab those leftovers. I know it's 11 o'clock at night, but I'm not going to make myself a sandwich or eat that pie. Hopefully, you don't have the pie laying around. So during those 5 minutes, try doing these four things. Go ahead and take a short walk. Now, right now it's freezing and raining here in Jersey, so I wouldn't suggest it. But you could get all layered up and cover yourself with a raincoat or something. Get out there and do your walk. Take some water. Just drink some warm water, cold water, whatever you prefer, but drink some water. It will help to fill you up, and it will help try to discourage that urge. Text someone in your support network. Now, with Renorah, if you're joining us on the Renorah platform, you do have a support network with us. We have, hey, Michigan. We do have the group, the general group. You guys can come and join and chat in. You can message myself, or you can message your health coach. So any of us are available at any time if you need extra support. And number 4, do a breathing drill. Now, I've talked about this on several modules. There's many different kinds of breathing drills, but I like to do the 4-4-4-4, 4 fours. So you essentially inhale 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, and hold again before inhaling again. So it would be and this is actually a good stress releaser. Now, there's the 7-8-9 breathing method. There's the 4-4-4-4, which is one I like. However, if you're in China, you'll probably understand why that's not a good one. If you guys understand Chinese language, you'll know. But anyways, this will help stop the cycle. It helps pause your brain long enough that you can jump out of this craving. You do it enough times, you're rewiring your brain. Now, I told you there's 3 steps. So number 2 would be swap the input. Next, give your brain something different to reward it. Swap ice cream for a protein drink or frozen fruit. Replace scrolling and snacking with a bath and a podcast. You could do a simple walk and listen to some music. Replace mindless eating with journaling out of the emotion or the numbing feeling you're having. So again, in Renorah, we push journaling every single day. In every module, in every day's lesson, you have the journaling prompt. I always recommend it, and one of the reasons is journaling works. It worked for me. It got me to go from 550 pounds down to what I am now, around 180, 185. The key is not just distraction, it's replacement. You can't move on until you fill that hole, that void that you're leaving. Give your brain something that helps it feel better and reinforces the new habit. Now, number 3 is name the craving. Most cravings have nothing at all to do with hunger. And if you're morbidly obese like I was, if you're a large person, you'll know you eat. It's not always about hunger. In fact, most of the time, it's not about hunger. There's other reasons. Call it out. This isn't hunger. This is stress. This is loneliness. This is routine. This is a fight with my partner. This is a stressful thought about work or about your kids. It could be anything, or about your exes. God knows I've got plenty of that. When you label the craving, you gain power over it. You remind yourself that you're not a slave to do it. So essentially, the point is you need to actually call out what it is that's causing you to have these cravings. And here's the bonus tip. Don't wait until you're in the moment. Prepare for it. Pre-plan your replacements. Stack your environment in your favor. Keep better choices close and friction low. So as an example, we mentioned before, replace ice cream with a protein shake. Get a bunch of protein shakes, put them in the fridge, put them in your cabinet, wherever you want them. So then instead of grabbing that ice cream, you grab that protein shake. You grab some frozen fruit. You have your podcast, we don't do MP3s anymore, but you have your podcast saved. So you can quickly just grab it, go out of the house, go for a walk, come back in 5 minutes, which of course, the walk alone is good for you, right? So, uh, yeah, this is where cravings lose their grip. Not with perfection, but with pattern interruption and intentional redirection. Now, I want to take about, excuse me, I want you to take about 10 minutes after this session to do a quick reflection. What are your top three most common craving triggers? Think about it. You'll actually be able to identify a hell of a lot more than three, but go for three. What do you usually reach for when they hit? And what can you replace that with starting right now, starting today? Then post it in the circle or in the Renorah thread if you're on the Renorah platform, or keep it in your journal, but write it down. Rewiring starts with awareness, but it ends with action. And if you slip, it's not failure. Just remember that. You're not failing. That's just simple feedback. Learn from it, reset, rewrite, and move on. So cravings aren't your enemy. They're just signals. And now you have a way to answer them. Next week's session is a neutral follow-up, the food timeline fix. We're going to talk about when you eat, how that affects your energy, your cravings, your metabolism, and fat loss results. You won't want to miss it. So make sure you join us either here on YouTube, TikTok, or of course the Renorah platform, or Facebook now that we're live on there. If you're not yet a member, head over to renorah.com to join. And again, if you're watching on a replay, you'll find a link in the description for 50% off for the first 20 people that join with that link. For those on the Renorah platform, give me a moment to go ahead and sign off on the other platforms, and we'll go ahead and open this up for the Q&A section. For everyone else, thanks for joining, and don't forget, ignite your light and transform your life. All right, give me a second and we'll get into this. Let me close out on YouTube. All right, and TikTok. See you guys.